Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Tremel Thompson, and welcome to another episode of Where is the Lie, in which we ask our union representatives who say that we lie so much after we post all these receipts, where is the lie? Now, this is going to be a special episode because in this episode, we're going to be giving away an award, and that award is Mr. Misinformation of the Year, the person who gives the most misinformation in TWU Local 100 as an elected rep, the person who dry snitches on members, the person who cannot comprehend what they're reading. And let's see who that is.
Drum roll, please.
And the winner is no other than TWU Local 100 Mabstoa Vice President, Donald Yates. Let's get into some of these lies, some of this misinformation, some of this foolery, even cheating that Mr. Yates has had his hands in over these past few years. Let's get to it.
So I got a couple updates for you guys. Once we're going to tag along with Sean on the contract negotiations that will be coming up. Now, as per the bylaws, we have to go take demands 120 days before the expiration of the contract.
Now, we just all heard Donald Yates say, according to the bylaws, that we must take our contract demands to the MTA at least 120 days before. That is not what the bylaws say. And Donald Yates, being a vice president of a department, he should know exactly what the bylaws say. And this is what the bylaws say. Section 26, contract negotiations. A, between the 75th and the 100th day prior to the expiration date of any contract or prior to the reopening date in any contract, the members covered by such contract shall either, in the separate divisions or sections, consider proposals for a new agreement and submit those approved by the division or section to the local financial secretary treasurer. Now, in this video, Donald Yates, your Mabstoa vice president, told the MTA via live stream, because they could see all our videos, that some members go out on workers' comp for good reasons, and some because they simply don't want to be at work.
Else has a domino effect. When we don't come to work, we go out on comp, some for good reason, some we know we just don't want to be out here, so we find another way. It can affect our jobs. It can affect.
Would you like a union representative to tell that narrative about you so management can have an adverse effect on the members?
Raphael, come sit by me.
Couldn't this wait till morning?
You will listen now.
Oh, and we cannot forget about this.
So listen, we're on scene over here at Gun Hill Depot or in Eli Avenue. So apparently behind us we have a casket that was delivered with some flowers and stuff. We have to take this type of situation seriously because we're under the impression that maybe this is a threat to the operators.
Y'all remember when Yates pulled that stunt and he tried to make it seem like, oh, you know, bus operators is under attack. They sending us a message with this casket. Meanwhile, they never filed a complaint with NYPD. They never told management. And then guess what happened once we exposed it? Donald Yates said the casket came from a storage place across the street and it was a big misunderstanding. Now, let me remind you guys about this one. Back in 2015, Donald Yates got hit with petition forgery from falsely signing bus operators' signatures, over 140 of them, to make sure that his team can make the ballot. This is not what someone with integrity does. This is not someone who believes in democracy will do. But this is Donald Yates. Now that we got that out the way, let's get into Donald Yates' recent contract lies to try to fool you to vote yes for this contract. So Yates posted this the other day, and it says the 2009 interest arbitration award of 11.7% was used to support a narrative that doesn't speak to what the arbitrator said about pattern bargaining and being patterned to New York City. You see, to me, this is what he's writing. It's interesting that you mentioned this arbitration award that was no doubt narrated to just the wages that were received and why. 11.7 in those years were broken down in 2 of the years every 6 months where we lost money on the compounded interest, but that's not really the point here. The point that I would bring to your attention to is this. In the same arbitration that has been mentioned here and wages were based on the city patterns during the time. I'm not just saying this is an opinion. In the same award, you are mentioning it clearly, says it several times. This award can be read on the union's website under contracts. Look at the 2009 arbitration award. If everyone reads for themselves rather than a narrative view, then you will face a truth that might make you views questionable of who's delivering false narratives. Now, he said a whole bunch of nut in there. Yes, you could go on the union website and look at the arbitration award, but he dig his hole even deeper. Let's get to it. Yates also says the contract that was just negotiated beats the city pattern with DC 37 and NYPD. Numbers alone aren't the answers because their contract will significantly save the city money on overtime as their contract implements 10, then 12-hour shift before you can calculate overtime. Not us. We maintain our overtime at after 8 hours. NYPD average 3.53%, 53% going back to 2017 to 2025. DC 37 got 16.21% of 65 months plus 12 days, 5.4 years, averaging 3.5% per year. TWU Local 100 negotiated terms are for 36 months exactly at 9.5%, which is on average of 3.16 per year. Our benefits package alone knocks this out the park. The arbitration facts are clear. We will be patterned to the city, which can impact what we won in that package. No one can debate that. Yates, are you sure about that? And why would you want to compare us to NYPD? NYPD got 5 weeks vacation after 5 years. NYPD got $5,000 longevity pay after 5 years. NYPD have annuity pay, which is $12,000 a year. They have uniform allowance. I mean, we cannot compare NYPD to transit. It's apples and oranges, but their contract is way better than any local 100 contract because the longevity pay, the health benefits, the percentages that they just got, in which I'm going to break down because he's lying about that, and a host of other things. But let's dig deeper to show you guys where is the lie. Now, what Yates did not tell you guys about what's in that arbitration award is a section called ability to pay, in which they do the research to see if the MTA can pay. And this is what the arbitration award says. In considering the impact of the panel's award on the financial ability of the public employer to pay, on the present fares, and on the continued provision of services to the public, this panel points to the state's financial assistance package that was passed on May 7th, 2009. This package includes a payroll mobility tax, remember that is expected to generate $1.5 billion in each of the next 2 fiscal years, as well as other taxes and fees expected to generate $83 million in 2009 and $250 million in each subsequent year. Now, basically, what the ability to pay does is show that all the finances that the MTA got coming in, it breaks it down and say, hey, you getting these billions of dollars, you could pay these workers. Now, this is from 2009, and we got to remember, There was a recession back in 2009, and the economy was affected. But now, fast forward to 2023, let's analyze the MTA ability to pay. Check this out. Now, this is from the MTA website themselves. Let's read it. Governor Hochul has worked tirelessly with partners in the MTA, New York City, and the state to strengthen the long-term fiscal stability of the MTA while ensuring continued progress in rider safety. The budget includes implementing over $400 million in operating efficiencies to reduce expenses and improve service to customers. There we go, that word again, payroll mobility tax, generating an additional $1.1 billion annually. Increasing New York City share funding for paratransit services through 2025, generating another $165 million. Let's go down to the good stuff. Dedicating $1.5 billion in licensing fees if 3 downstate casino licenses are awarded, and a share of an estimated $231 to $413 million in incremental annual tax revenue from the casinos for MTA operations. Now, if that's not showing the MTA ability to pay, I don't know what is. But check this out. How can we forget about this? Congestion pricing. The money raised through congestion pricing will be used for infrastructure upgrades, like building new elevators in the subway system and modernizing dated signals that are supposed to keep trains moving. The program is expected to generate $1 billion annually to improve the transit network, according to the MTA. So instead of the MTA now raiding our operating budget for capital projects, in which they have done in the past, like we have heard John Samuelson say,
clear about everything, crystal clear. We're bargaining a contract right now, and we're being told you have no operating money, but yet you're taking tens of millions of dollars, wage points worth of operating money that could be used to settle our agreements so that this system doesn't just continue to pressurize and transit workers get treated fairly and respectfully, as we've heard some of the speakers testify to. You continue to take money out of the operating budget, put it into the capital budget where we're flush with money, and then tell the unions that you have no money in the operating budget when you're taking money directly out of the fare box to pay for capital work that we're going to be flush with cash on.
They will be getting an extra $1 billion from congestion pricing. You know, that same congestion pricing that they didn't figure out in Manhattan for the bus operators that's going to be working in those bus depots that's going to be affected? Yeah, Donald Yates is responsible for that. Nothing on that though, right? But anyway, an extra $1 billion. Oh wait, there's more. How can we forget about this? Senator Charles Schumer announced Wednesday that the MTA will be receiving a $6 billion lump sum grant for the subway system, the largest ever awarded in the Federal Transit Administration's history. How about that? So, during COVID, you remember the federal bailout that Washington gave the MTA, the billions of dollars in which our hazard pay was supposed to come from. It helped the MTA out so they won't shut down, as they were saying, whatever the case was. But the fact of the matter is that the MTA have the ability to pay. You have reps like Donald Yates and others telling you to vote yes without doing the proper research, without reading, without doing their due diligence to truly educate themselves. There's no way possible that we can be a strong union if the people that we have at the table is negotiating from their knees. I advise you guys to take an educated look yourself. Look at the receipts that I'm posting and ask yourself, where is the lie? I'll catch you guys later.